Well, hello, and I hope you're doing well this week. A little message to any of you who are watching this, who are in the Northeast or in Louisiana, Mississippi, or have connections there. This is a difficult time, and there are people praying for you. I know our church has had a heritage of being very helpful, particularly in these storms that happen. And so I would encourage first all of us who happen to be looking at this to stop today and say a prayer for people who are feeling overwhelmed through flooding, through the hurricane activity in Louisiana and other places in the north. We're praying for that, and we will find a practical way to put feet to our prayers as well. So I hope you'll be thinking and praying. It'll probably be some kind of donation that will go to an appropriate place that we know immediate help is happening. I know that's been a history of the gathering, and that makes me proud to know that that's something we do. Sunday, we're going to kind of get rolling on a series on the Sermon on the Mount. I introduced it to you a couple of weeks ago, and we looked at the Beatitudes together and sort of saw them as these congratulatory words of Jesus for doing ethical and good things that are right. It's sort of an attaboy to say, way to go. You're being pure in spirit, pure in heart. All of these things that the Beatitudes, as we've come to know them in the early part of chapter 5 of Matthew, tell us. On Sunday, we're going to look at Matthew 5:17 through 20, where Jesus speaks about really a new world order. Let's call it that. It's God's desire for this world to be what he wants it to be. And so Jesus gives them flat out God's intention for the law. He says, I've not come to abolish any of the laws that we know God has taught. I've come to take them further in the same direction, but to fulfill them, to make them more alive for you. Have you ever thought, I know I have, that, this old world could use a new start sometimes. Sometimes things just seem so broken and so messed up that starting fresh would really be a good thing in this world. And it was that way in Jesus' day. No question that the world was fouled up, far away from what the Creator intended it to be. People were not treating one another out of the intention. Even religious people, even Jewish religious people, really were not acting in a way that the law was to fulfill God and what God wants of us and who he is. To be honest, folks were comfortable in Jesus' day with the law. They really didn't keep it that well, but they knew they couldn't. They had set up some real strict structures so they could at least measure certain things to feel good about themselves. They knew in their minds what was good and what was not. They really didn't expect to know God or feel close to him. In fact, most felt abandoned by God most days, so they really weren't disappointed in how they felt. They were just going through the motions. Someone else really did their thinking for them. The priest prayed, the priest taught, they gave alms, they took steps that were in somewhat the area of God's law. But it really wasn't making a lot of difference in the world. It was still broken. Jesus comes and sort of sets the stage and gives the opening remarks for this is the world that God wants us to live in. And he gives some clear snapshots in the Sermon on the Mount of what that would look like. Word pictures of things we can associate with God's intention for the law. And he really gives the invitation, like most preachers do. He says, here it is, and it's great. It's what God wants for us. It's all based on love. That's his intention. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a part of it? You come on Sunday and let's think about it. I'm going to enjoy us walking through the Sermon on the Mount together this fall. I hope to see you then. Janet and I are well. We took a Sunday off with a little COVID concern, but both of our testing and all of that is fine. So we're good, and we look forward to seeing you Sunday.